about 200,000 years ago, in a time when the Earth was already witnessing the rise and fall of countless civilizations. Our species Homo sapiens was still a young, unknown member of the primate family. We lived alongside many other human species like Homo erectus, Homo neanderthalensis, and Homo florensis, just to name a few. Back then, unlike today, the Earth was much warmer. There was no ice age. Humanity spent most of its prehistoric existence in a mild climate where lush vegetation reigned supreme. Our days were dedicated to the endless pursuit of food. Our diet consisted of fruit, tubers, and nuts, easily accessible gifts from nature. However, our species, being small and nimble, didn't need much nourishment to survive. Therefore, unlike our cousins, Homo erectus, who stood at around 6 feet, we remained with an average height of no more than 4 feet 11 inches, while the rest of the human species walked upright on 2 legs. Homo sapiens had the unique advantage of having the smallest brain among them. But don't let that fool you. It was precisely this brain that would lead to our domination of the planet. Yet at that time, we were far from achieving such dominance. Our settlements resembled what we would call villages today, scattered individuals living among caves and trees. Life revolved around gathering fruit and chasing small animals. But this peaceful existence came at a price, as we were too small and weak to defend ourselves against large carnivores. We were forced to flee before their power, seeking refuge in caves and climbing trees. Although there were traces of our presence in Europe, Africa, Asia, and Oceania, at that time we were merely specks in the vast wilderness. But fate had a surprise in store for us. About 130,000 years ago, the volcanic eruption of Mount Toba in Indonesia marked a turning point in history. The ash cloud, reaching 36 kilometers high, blocked the sun's rays, plunging the Earth into darkness for several years. Temperatures plummeted and our familiar rainforests turned into desolate deserts. Faced with such sudden change, most of our hominid relatives disappeared from the face of the Earth. But we Homo sapiens, with our small size and modest energy needs, managed to survive the worst. When the sunlight finally returned, the world had changed. The big game had disappeared, and only small animals remained. But our kind, resilient, and adaptable, learned to survive on such meager offerings. The transition from hunter-gatherer to nomad began between 80,000 and 60,000 years ago. As the interglacial period approached, the Earth warmed up again and the climate became similar to what we know today. But our society continued to be nomadic. We still hadn't invented agriculture. However, it wasn't until about 40,000 years ago that we began to be recognized as true humans. Why? Because this was the time when the explosion of creativity occurred. We created beautiful cave paintings depicting animals, plants, and scenes from our daily life. The most famous examples are Lascaux and Altamira caves. We crafted exquisite jewelry and ornaments out of shells, bones, and stones. We developed complex weapons like spears and bows and arrows. And above all, we started living in settlements. No longer nomads, but sedentary people. This sedentary lifestyle led to the domestication of animals. And with that, we took the biggest leap of all. Domestication allowed us to obtain food regularly and abundantly. In fact, according to studies, the practice of domestication began with dogs between 15,000 and 30,000 years ago. Later, between 9,000 and 11,000 years ago, sheep and goats were domesticated. Then cattle and pigs followed, and finally chickens and ducks. Domesticated animals provided us with food, leather, and clothing. They also served as helpers in agricultural tasks. The next significant milestone was the invention of the wheel, which revolutionized transportation, trade, and war. But perhaps the greatest achievement was the creation of the plough, an invention that marked the beginning of agriculture and the end of the Stone Age. In essence, this transformation from nomadic hunters to settled farmers was not a matter of chance. It represented the natural evolution of any species driven by the need to adapt to environmental changes. Throughout history, humans have always responded to their environment. Changes in climate, flora and fauna, as well as the need for resources, have been the main engines of progress. It was the extinction of big game due to the Ice Age that led our ancestors to look for alternative sources of food. When faced with the disappearance of large mammals, humans were compelled to turn to smaller animals and plants for sustenance. This shift in diet prompted the development of new hunting techniques, such as the use of bows and arrows instead of heavy spears. Additionally, this scarcity pushed humans to think creatively, leading to the domestication of animals and the cultivation of plants. The process of domesticating wild animals for food and companionship didn't happen overnight. It involved selecting animals with desirable traits like docility and fertility and gradually taming them through generations. Meanwhile, the choice of which plants to cultivate came down to those that produced edible fruits or had other uses such as medicinal properties. This adaptation to the environment goes beyond mere physical changes. It's deeply rooted in our cognitive sphere as well. Faced with challenges, the human brain has evolved to find solutions, giving rise to inventions, strategies, social organization, and cultural expressions. Each innovation, from the creation of rudimentary tools to the invention of writing, was a response to the problems posed by the environment. Take, for example, the invention of writing, a crucial milestone in human history. Writing emerged as a way to record information, make trade transactions, and keep historical records. Without the ability to retain vast amounts of information in our heads, writing enabled us to transfer knowledge across time and space, laying the foundation for libraries, schools, and historical chronicles. Humanity's ability to adapt is also reflected in our social structures. The nomadic lifestyle fostered close-knit family groups characterized by cooperation and mutual support. With sedentism, the rise of cities and specialization of labor led to the formation of larger, more complex societies with specialized roles and hierarchies. These social changes were not imposed from outside, but rather emerged as a natural response to the demands of a settled life. So, the story of human adaptation is not just a chapter in the past, it's an ongoing process. As the environment changes, so do we. Global warming, resource depletion, and ecological imbalances pose new challenges that will undoubtedly push humanity to innovate, adapt, and once again demonstrate its capacity for change. In a world where nothing remains constant, one thing is certain: life always finds a way to adapt and overcome. We must learn from our past and continue to evolve if we want to ensure a sustainable future for ourselves and our planet. From the icy landscapes of the Ice Age to the lush forests of the interglacial periods, we have shown an extraordinary capacity for adaptation. Our story is a testament to our ability to change, not only physically, but also socially and culturally. As we move towards the future, we carry within us the legacy of our ancestors, their struggles, their discoveries, and their resilience. By understanding our history, we can better navigate the challenges that lie ahead. Let us honor the memory of our ancestors by striving to create a world worthy of their sacrifice and hard work. In the tapestry of life on Earth, the story of humans is a unique thread. We are the only species capable of shaping our own destiny, of imagining and creating our own future. The challenges we face today may seem insurmountable, but if we look back on our journey through time, we realize that there is no obstacle too great for us to overcome. From the first crude tools to the conquest of space, our story is a testament to our boundless curiosity and capacity for innovation. Each step we've taken, each invention we've created, has brought us closer to understanding the mysteries of the universe and our place within it. Our story is not just ours, it's a reflection of the evolution of the Earth itself. The changing landscapes, the emergence of new species, and the cycles of life and death have all played a role in shaping who we are. We are the product of a long and intricate dance between the Earth and its inhabitants. And as we look to the future, we must remember that our story is still being written. Every decision we make, every action we take, will leave its mark on the history of our species. Let's strive to write a future filled with hope, understanding, and respect for the world around us. Let's honor the legacy of our ancestors by building a better world for ourselves and future generations. After all, our story is more than just a collection of events. It's the story of humanity, the story of life on Earth, and it's a story worth telling.